Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this world of darkness. We return to Orlando Ascended. When last we met, hilarity ensued. Mages got high. Some dirty deeds were done. Some contacts with avatars were made. And in the end, everyone learned a little something about themselves. But tonight we go to a particular, rather large church that's very popular in the center here of Orlando, where we find a few of our mages who will about to have a very surprising guest meet them. Our camera will at first turn to Zyra. In her robes and attire, will be going about her business, refilling the water, adjusting the incense, and other things, so to speak. A familiar face, a man known as Terran Delmont, or for those who know his true utter face, is not precisely per se a man. But him and Zyra often have a lot in common to talk about when it comes to matters of the faith and matters of the High Almighty. And a few mages will enter the church at their own convenient time.
Claire will probably come first. She's kind of glancing around. She'll whisper to Zyra, "May I use the front bench to try and collect more information?"
Oh, of course, dear. Good to see you again.
"It's great to see you too, Miss Zyra." And she'll take a seat, pull out her notebook, and start preparing her automatic writing.
Jesse?
I guess that's when Jesse comes in, like just creeping about and like going to follow her and like sit on a pew at the very back.
He's doing the zombie shuffle, thinking he looks roguish.
Yep, you do so. And fun fact for everyone here, if you wish, may roll a meditation roll, standard difficulty. And if you get at least one success without botching, you will regain a quintessence.
That's, what do you use? Intelligence, meditation?
Yep.
Okay, let's do this. Oh, after I reach the place. Anyway, yeah, Clea will also reach the church, get off the bike, remove her helmet, look at the church, squint her eyes, and like, church. This is where all the creeps are gathered. That makes sense.
Do
And still go inside, like, quietly and just observe from the side, trying to be sneaky, but not really trying too hard. What difficulty, Brennan?
do I lose a
Six.
die if I
Standard
don't have?
difficulty.
Okay.
Standard diff 6.
Do
Okay.
I lose a die if I don't have
Oh my
any points in
god.
meditation?
No, you just roll your intelligence.
No, it just increases the difficulty by one.
Just look at my roll, you
Alright, so
guys.
Oh, neat.
Oh my
My
god.
roll is horrible.
My roll was amazing. Magnificent.
so yeah, Clea and Jesse, you are you feel your auras kind of balance and you feel quintessence refill. For those of you who didn't have it full, if you're able to go over your quintessence limit, you get another quintessence. Claire, it's a little bit difficult for you. You find peace here, but you find that the energies are a little bit difficult right now for you to pull towards you.
Sighs and shuts the notebook. "I am never going to learn who this priest is at this point." And just kind of like lays down on her back.
Zyra kind of sits next to you and she says, "Nonsense, dearie," and she looks up at the door. "You never know who might walk in on your life." And she walks back to the incense altar.
And that's when Armand walks in. And he approaches the altar, lights a candle, and kneels down to start to pray.
She is going to reach out mentally. "Hello, voice. Is this him?"
faint pause. You see the skull off to your right, and the skull is looking straight at him.
She kind of takes a deep breath. Why do you have to be so pretty? She mutters and gets up. Hello, father?
He glances up.
Zyra kind of chuckles. Close.
Please, call me Armand.
Well, hi, I'm Claire Redwood. I've been looking for you.
Oh, have you now?
She'll look back towards where the skull is. I'm sure none of them can see it. Yeah, a friend of mine told me about you. They acted like you were important, but I'm not sure why.
Hmm, I'm not sure.
Claire, you can feel a lot of that pressure that was building before kind of start to release simply by being in this man's presence.
Oh, thank God he's shutting up finally. She kind of mutters.
He will kind of arch an eyebrow.
Um, this is gonna sound weird, but she'll kind of like look at Zara. I kind of in my field of work, I deal with the graveyard a lot, and my friend before they passed, they acted like they knew you, and they wanted me to seek you out, but I don't know why.
They might have known me. I've known a lot of people in my life. I've been all around the world.
This isn't going well. I thought I would have an answer.
Answers take times and are found where you seek them. You just hear that voice in your head.
She kind of cringes some. So do you work with Zara here?
I can't say I've ever met her before.
Hmm.
I'm new in town.
She,
Yeah,
Zyra kind of comes out and gives a polite bow with her hands folded in peace.
well, this friend died recently, so if you're new in town, this he had to have known you recently.
It's possible. May I ask their name?
Oh, what was it? She'll like close her eyes while trying to remember what little information she gets and start flipping through her notebook. I will make a roll here in a minute for occult, I believe. The ST will have to tell me if that's correct or not.
Yeah, go ahead and roll in plus occult, diff 6.
What with the occult?
Intelligence.
Okay, thank
Oh,
you.
very nice. Very, very nice. Your friend definitely knew this one. Did those memories come back? And you think maybe your friend is trying to talk to you from beyond the grave. And whatever he wants you to find out is linked to this one.
She kind of looks at Zara, gives her a wink, and then she's going to activate Spirit Sight and look at the priest.
I
She's
do not recall how vampires appear under spirit sight.
It varies.
Now he is, like dead, but they do have souls, and he's like humanity 10.
so he'd be like a brilliant wraith.
If he's humanity 10, his soul would look like that of a wraith that kind of shines. If he was an ordinary looking vampire or low humanity, usually the more blacker the soul would be. But it also depends on what kind of mage is looking at, because sometimes mages' paradigms can affect how they see spirits.
Yeah,
But
and
I would say that Claire would see him probably as a
Angel.
kind of a bright, possibly. It all depends on what
Because he
Claire
also has
thinks.
true faith.
She would definitely see the halo around his head.
oh god, part of her creepy personality is about to come out.
Oh, you mean
However,
that
you wish to,
before her creepy personality was not coming out?
indeed, Claire. Claire, you'll see that however you wish to view his spirit, it'll be just slightly brighter. But one thing is for certain: the thing that you will definitely see is the halo around his head.
She will immediately drop the notebook and grab his hands.
He will be a bit taken aback by this.
You glow.
I'm not sure what you mean.
I'm sorry, I can speak frankly because it's obvious you're not alive.
He's clearly taken aback by this.
Zara, perhaps we should lock the church door while I talk, just so no one normal walks in.
You may use one of the confessional rooms if you wish.
Oh, that would be so much easier. Thank you. You are a darling and beautiful woman.
Nonsense. I am here to aid all of you.
She'll immediately start like trying to usher him to the confessional, him on one side, her on the other.
Okay.
Zyra looks at the Crimson Priest as he walks by, and she looks at him and she says, "Relax. You have sanctum here, as long as you follow the rules." And she winks and goes back to spreading around the incense.
Right as Jesse and Cleo arrive, they see Claire and a man going into a confessional. So, the first confession I have to make is I'm not normal.
I somewhat figured that out.
And I'm sorry if I was a little aggressive. I tend to deal with.
A little.
I'm sorry. In my line of work, we deal with the dead, and their voices get loud if I don't pass on what they have to say.
Come on.
So, I'm a euthanatos. I assume you glow, but you come off as dead, so I'm not really sure what you are.
Well, I've been known by many names.
Yes, but most things with many names that come off as dead don't have shiny halos.
Well, I suppose the difference there's what happened when I was immortal. A very long time ago.
Oh,
I
see.
was a Catholic priest. Much like I still consider myself, not that they would have me now.
The God makes the faith, not the man.
But I was being considered for sainthood. Not that I earned it.
So, though, at any point you want to give me a name of the voice, Brandon, that would be great. Any kind of tie-ins for her to throw out there
Claire,
to just move along.
Claire, the voice you hear has named itself as Matthew.
Okay, so know a guy named Matthew?
Saint
Oh, Saint
Matthew.
Matthew. I'm sorry, I left the first part off. You don't have
No,
to.
no, no. No, no, I did that for
Oh,
dramatic effect.
okay. Yeah, so Saint Matthew, ring any bells, Mr. Armand?
I mean, it certainly does. But
Just out of curiosity, was he there during the fall of the first city?
he was.
Right. Saint Matthew, and I'll say this out of character, I don't really know if he'll know this or not. Saint Matthew, this one in particular, was responsible, at least from what the rumors around him said, and only the oldest vampires know of these rumors, that Saint Matthew was one of the conspirators that got the first children of Cain cursed by the sun.
Hmm. Odd.
I have been trying to ignore him for months because I could not find a priest of his description, and his incessant yelling is driving my mind to shambles.
In Latin, Claire whispers creep up a little bit.
Unfortunately, I am not going to try to repeat it, but she does know Latin and she will say it out loud for him.
In Latin, the voices say, "Find my tomb, find my corpse, free my soul. Burn the ground, salt the earth. Burn the ground, salt the earth. As above, so below."
Hmm. Well,
What is he?
it's troublesome.
That is so much better to get out of my head. And she's like looking best as she can through the little pit placement between the walls for the priest and the confessor. So I don't know how I can help with that, but if you need help to put him to rest, it would be great.
Hmm.
I mean, unless you have a way to take him with you, also work for me. I would like to be able to sleep.
Out of curiosity, what level is his auspex?
He has level 8 Auspex.
Oh,
Shit.
Jesus Christ. Roll
He has
perception,
all the
empathy.
aspects.
Oh God.
He does have all of the Auspex.
All of the aspects.
Yeah, roll perception, empathy.
Well, this will be interesting.
Easily. He
That's actually
sees
10 successes because he has a specialty
Because of
in his
course.
perception in empathetic.
Of course he does. Of
you
course.
see you see for only a moment but you think that he thinks that there's something floating around Claire, some other entity. But it leaves after Zyria does a little chant and prayer, and it gets kind of thrown out the church. But you could see its face. It looked like that of a very starved and deprived kindred, something hollow and hungry, something terrifying, but nothing he hasn't seen before. But I don't know, maybe it was a face that he saw all those years ago. Can't be sure, but if vampires could get the shivers, he got them.
Actually, because he is Humanity 10, he can.
So he gets the shivers.
Kind of shakes his head a little bit. Hmm.
And Zyra kind of comes over to you two. And she says, "Sorry, that one's been giving some trouble for a while. Are you two all right?"
I'm I'm fine. It's been at my house most of the month.
Hmm.
I believe who was it that said we're good with their souls? Or descended, was it? I don't know. Somebody at the meeting was saying it.
Ah, I believe that was Mr. Mark. Um,
What was that? I mean, I always thought Kane was just fictional.
Hardly. We, myself and my kind, are the descendants of Cain.
You will see her face visibly pale some. Oh, well, I guess that explains the dead part in you not being under my bed or screaming at me.
Yes, I'm very much still a physical being.
The physical ones like to yell too. They also do.
Well, I'm not going to yell at you. That's for certain.
And thank you. This has been very stressful, and I know it's made me demanding and as my comrade, but it creepy, and I felt I should deal with it before I disturb
Claire,
them too much. Yes.
the voices have all but completely stopped, and the closer you are to this man, the more comfortable you feel.
And being around you shuts every single dead thing around up, and it's wonderful to have some quiet.
He smiles a little bit. Then, whenever you wish it, I can be available if you need it.
And if you ever need something thrown away to not be allowed in your presence, I'm sure I can help with it.
Claire,
What?
you see the hourglass tattooed onto your skin now from under your lower arm, and the skull looks back up at you, smiles, says, "Well done, child."
She just looks down at the tattoo. You just could not be direct, could you? Just some honest, direct answers. And she's just muttering. Then she stops. She goes, "Why do I smell Clea's oil?"
Fucking Jesse's
And it's
there
at
for
that
you.
point it's at that point that our camera will turn to Jesse and Clea entering the church. But before Clea gets to the church door, she runs into a familiar face. Oh, oops! You almost went headfirst into him. You kind of bump.
Oh, hi.
Oh,
Hi.
sorry about that. Hey, Clea, how are you doing?
Not sure. Is there a gathering here or something? So kind of looks around.
Oh, I just come and talk with Zyra about some things.
Oh, I was just following Jesse, who was following the creepy chick, and yeah, creepy stuff are happening here, so I'm going to be
Oh,
going.
oh my! You were following them. You were stalking and sneaking. Mind if I stalk and sneak behind you? I want to
Um,
see where this ends.
I mean, what do you mean? Where?
Shh. If you want to be sneaky, first rule is to be quiet.
Well, I was just leaving. Maybe. Was I going in or
Kind
out?
of looks. You were going in.
Oh, I was. Well, see, Jesse decided to follow the creepy chick, and then I got worried because I don't know, she creeps me out. It came here, and that's a church, and this is where creepy people usually are, right? Uh, yeah. So,
He's
do you want to sneak up with me to the church?
sure. It could be fun.
Okay. Uh,
Roll me a dex and stealth.
yeah.
Want me to roll perception alertness?
Yes.
Come on, you're in the
Yes.
confessional. We're at the door.
You realize at his level of aspects the things he can do.
Fuck. Wow. Wow.
I was talking, it was
Wow.
muted. To say, why don't we give her a chance to get inside? And if she repeats it, then you do your roll.
Okay, this is bad. This is very bad. Like this is one
That
of my
was really
this is
bad.
one of my best pulls, and this is bad. At least I got one. I guess I'm nervous.
I mean, Taryn is of the sneaky.
I'm of the sneaky too.
And I guess Jesse's just going inside while those two flirt.
Not with that roll.
No, Jesse's already inside and sitting on the pew. Pew pew pew.
Yeah.
Playing with his little stuffed animal.
Terran also has light manipulation, which is helpful. But I think he's going to see Cleo without even trying.
Yeah,
I mean, I suppose I can make the roll
Sure.
because it's not even necessarily a sight-based perception check.
Trying to see if you hear him.
Would you be looking for
Mhm.
anything though?
I mean, he is here for a reason.
Oh, yeah, that's true, I guess.
By the way, you cannot decrease difficulty below 3 ever.
I know, that's why I use the greater than. It only works for greater than 2.
Okay.
So it has to be 3 and up. I don't use the equal then sign because for whatever
By the way,
reason
that's not
sometimes.
actually 7 successes. Take 2 of those off.
Yep, so that would be 5.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he hears you.
Very nice.
He hears
certainly
both
hears.
of you.
Yeah, he definitely hears Terran. Clea, he can literally see come in.
And that'll probably be right at the point Claire was mentioning oil.
Yeah, we have company.
What? And she'll like pull it up. Where?
He's going to step out of the confessional.
She'll follow it. And then she'll go, Jesse, what are you doing here?
The instant they come out, Jesse's gonna pretend he's meditating on the pew.
Oh my god, you are not supposed to be alone. The higher ups send no one alone.
What?
You notice, you notice, Claire, that he's not alone.
Oh, okay. Now I do.
You see this woman over off to the side.
Oh, she'll look and she'll wave. Jess, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Never mind then. I was worried that Cleo was going to have my skin peeled off for you getting hurt somewhere off on your own.
Why?
Yeah,
Why would Clea?
Claire, you've also noticed that you haven't seen Ray anywhere, but then you look up and you see Ray doing like a Mission Impossible thing on the roof. And he just holds out his hand and looks at you and he's like, shh. And then he just goes back.
What the fuck?
I am so sorry that I thought I escaped them and they apparently followed me.
He just kind of shrugs. It's quite all right.
Family is all she says with a sigh.
Look, I'm sorry. I was eating a bagel or getting a bagel, and I saw you come up, and I thought you were alone, so I followed you, because no one was supposed to be alone.
She pinches Jesse's cheek. You're the cute one of the group. Do you really think Clea and the others give two flying shits about me? No.
Uh,
Chris walks right by Clea and goes up to the dais and does a little bit of a prayer.
Nobody escaped their seconds.
Nope.
So why do I smell oil and sulfur? She asks Jesse.
I don't know. I came
Armand
alone.
kind of, gestures over at Clea and Taryn.
She looks up at She points at Taryn.
Well,
Shouldn't she?
the thing is, Claire can't see Taryn.
Oh, okay. She looks at Clea and gets more stiff, and she goes,
The fallen one is also there. He's hiding, though.
Taryn steps out of the light and he says, like literally steps out of the light, and he looks at him and he says, "Oh darn, you had to. Well, I'll have to work on that. Shouldn't have been able to see me or hear me."
"You can't escape someone as brilliant as him."
Taryn kind of looks.
You're sweet, dear.
Why is she
Taryn kind of looks
fangirling on this guy? Who is this guy?
because this man. Taryn looks up and gets kind of close to the guy and looks him up and down, and he says, "Whoa, that's an impressive aura."
Jess
Hardly.
is all
I'm nothing special.
going to turn on all of his aura. I mean, reading thingy. Right?
I want to do that
Do
too.
you have life sight?
Yep.
This man is dead.
Uh,
The instant you see that, he puts his hand in his
He has
pocket and starts
no
fiddling with
light
the
signature.
lighter. And it's-
what things would pop up? If
Prime, big time.
yeah, well, I'll do that.
He glows like crazy under Prime.
Yeah, he's a Christmas tree.
Okay. Do you want me to roll the thingy?
Yep, all of you roll the things.
This is a level full sanctum, so all everyday rolls are free.
Nice.
3 hits. Very nice.
Yep, you pop off your sights.
3.
While they do their rolls, Claire's whispering to a certain demon, "I thought demons, according to mythology, couldn't come in here."
Taryn kind of looks at the priest. He looks at Claire. He looks over at Zyra, and then he looks at the door. And he looks down at his feet, and he kind of just shuffles around. And he's like, and he sniffs. He sniffs. And he's like, no fire and brimstone.
He simply shakes his head.
So what do we see with the sights?
Actually, I should probably tell you what you see with Taryn too, but I'll let Shayna go ahead and describe the priest first.
Okay.
So for Armand, under life sight, obviously that there's nothing there. Just nothing.
No, I'm interested in the prime.
Prime, he glows like crazy. This is a lot like the vampires you've looked at before.
Clea will tilt her head and be like, "Oh shit,
I
another
told-
one."
Yeah,
Am I in trouble?
Clea, you're not in trouble. He's not going to hurt you. He's got a halo.
Why would you be in trouble, my dear?
I don't know, because I keep running into you people for some reason. And
You people?
She
pause,
means,
pause. At this point, she will look at Terran. What does she look? What does she see when she looks at Terran?
oh God.
When you look at Terran, you see two primal essences. You see the essence that Terran is in the human form, and you see an essence standing behind him which glows very brightly. You see with the entropy strand that there are some minor strands of entropy that float around this being that is floating around Terran. The being almost appears to be a part of Terran's shadow.
Okay, she's gonna take a step back at that, and she's gonna look towards the priest, and she'll be like, vampires. I mean, vampires. She'll try to
I,
whisper.
Clea is a little more abrasive than I just was, but she is normally.
It's quite alright.
Do you know the other people? Did they tell you?
Tell me about
The
what?
guy that saw them at the park.
I'm not here to hurt you if that's what you're worried about.
Man, I don't know. I mean, number two told me to trust those ones there, but you're not one of those ones there. Do you know them?
I have no idea which ones you mean. There are quite a lot of us.
Yeah, there was one that was grumpy, and one that had a motorcycle, and then was there
Good.
ghoul, I think. Yeah, the girl
I
with the brown hair. Fuck, she
I
was
think
number
you
Did
10.
said
she
his name is
have an
Shannon.
Irish accent by any chance?
No, yeah, I think. Yeah, he had an accent. Yeah, 13.
All right. Grumpy Irish accent, that's Brandon.
Oh, so you do know them. And they didn't tell you that I saw them.
No, they didn't tell me anything of the sort.
Can you, like,
You see,
forget that I told you then?
you see Chris right off to the left side of the priest finish his prayer. And he looks at the priest and says, sorry about that. She tends to be blabbing sometimes about things that she shouldn't. Is this conversation that we discuss here not going to leave this room? Raises an eyebrow.
Of course not.
Uh, Chris Oberon, by the way. Pleasure to meet you.
It depends on which name you want.
You may give me whatever name you wish.
Uh,
No name.
Currently, I go by Armand Badescu. I'm
Armand
sometimes
Badescu.
called the Red Priest. Crimson Priest.
But do you have a number?
Well, if number one wasn't already taken, I would suggest that for him, Clea.
He chuckles a bit, and Chris looks at Armand and he says, she tends to assign people numbers because she's horrible with names.
Do you have a number 3?
No, unfortunately, I'm sorry, but from 1 to 22 are all taken.
Ah, unfortunate. Yeah, doesn't matter. I'll let you
Number
choose something.
number 23?
Yeah, that seems appropriate. That was
An odd and an even number together next to one another in a sequence of one could work.
What are you talking about, Chris?
And a prime number.
Jess is
Exactly.
going to put his hand up to try and shake the priest's hand, and you can see him visually shaking, and he's going, hi, sir. Hi, Jesse.
He'll extend a hand and gently shake his. He is purposefully holding back his strength.
Um, You're the first vampire I think I've ever met in my life.
Kindred, if you don't mind.
Yes, sir. Whatever it is you want me to call you. Um,
He's the most civilized person of the kindred I've ever met, so.
Wait, how many have you met?
I deal with death every day, Clea.
Okay, what are you, a gravedigger or something?
Her eyebrow just twitches, and she looks at.
don't mind her. She's just rude.
Okay, I'm gonna put this bluntly. I have to die to get power. I died. I came back. I have power. Let's leave it at that.
Ah, that. Okay, I guess that explains the whole creepy vibe.
Stop calling her creepy. That's really
It's
rude.
really creeping me out. I'm just being honest here.
No.
To be fair, death isn't that scary, especially when, you witness it as many times as some of us do. Sometimes it just takes a matter of getting used to.
She's tilting her head at Chris, and she goes, "Are you like Taryn over there?"
I'm dual tradition, sweetheart.
Mm.
Have you died?
He smiles. Yes.
Wait, you can die and come back to life? What?
Have I
What?
died?
Then how would you explain me if we couldn't?
Have I died?
So, I suppose I'm not really alive, am I?
Oh, I think you're more alive than most people walking around who don't share the mark of your dark father. I would say you're far more alive than some of them are.
Claire's rubbing at her tattoo, her new tattoo that was not there before, awkwardly.
You also notice another thing, Claire.
Hmm.
Scars are gone.
She's just staring at her wrist without talking now.
Interestingly enough, Claire, your scars have disappeared right where he grabbed you, like right where your hands interlocked.
Uh, where the priest or Chris?
Priest.
Oh.
So, do all of us die? Have I died?
No, and apparently,
Highly unlikely.
and thanks
Stop
to.
asking weird questions.
Why is it rude? I just need to understand things, okay?
Okay,
You
can
wouldn't
we focus on
understand.
the target, please? Clea, I promise I will answer any and all questions you have. I literally just came here to do a job. And apparently, I've made a glorious healing friend.
He
Or
smiles a bit.
so, we need to shut a voice up. That voice knows our new friend here. So we
Though
can,
I'm afraid I am here on important business.
and this is why I wish to offer you a deal. Of sorts, as Taryn would put it. She says, side eyeing the demon, or fallen. My second and I will try to help you within reason. We will commit no crimes. And in trade, you help me figure out how to put this guy to rest. Because I would really like to bathe in peace and quiet, or go to bed without him just sitting there whispering in Latin at me all night.
Is your second in agreement for you speaking for him?
She looks at the roof.
You look up at the roof and you can see Ray just kind of sitting there looking down at you in like Mission Impossible pose. He's just sitting there and he's like, you
Armand
notice
just
that
looks up at him. You're
he's
an
like,
odd
yeah.
one.
He's like, yeah, I'm just trying to get this thing up over here. He puts it right up there and you notice that he's literally just plugging in a light for the church. And then he kind of starts to Spider-Man down with these little gloves and boots he's got. He starts to just Spider-Man his way, wall crawl down.
Interesting. I
And he go ahead and switch to his thing here. He kind of gets down. And he comes up to you. And he's like, "Yeah, I'd be in accord with that. I'm cool. I mean, kind of, yeah, I'd be cool with that.
Mr. Ray, you're very cool.
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I say, if we want to get these voices to stop, I say we give this entity, a boot.
Yes, and
I could simply attempt to exercise whatever it is bothering you.
Oh, that might be interesting.
exorcisms never really worked before, and they don't normally go inside of me. They tend to just scream and scratch and jerk you around till you do as they say.
Clea will lean to Jesse and tell him, I think she's fucking ghosts.
How do you fuck a ghost?
I don't know, she just said they're going inside her.
Now, that is quite rude.
And I also want to state that that is impossible, since the Wraith Oblivion stature states that the dead will never interact with the living. And Taryn just kind of looks at everyone and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, did I say that out loud?"
You're not supposed to listening in when I'm whispering to my friend here. This isn't very polite, you know.
Maybe you should learn to whisper more quietly.
Taryn looks at Amani and says, "Exactly. She should learn to whisper quieter."
Fine, I won't talk then.
To be fair, I did hear you coming.
Fun piece of advice, Clea. Never lie or never whisper in a room filled with mages. Never lie or whisper in a room filled with werewolves. And never lie or whisper in a room filled with vampires. They'll always know.
So just never lie.
Well, honesty is the best policy. So,
Yeah.
Clea, to answer your question, I do not fornicate with the spirits. They do speak to me. They've spoken to me since I was a child.
I do apologize on behalf of Clea for being rude again for
Jesse,
like the 50th time.
stop. It is not your place to apologize for her. She's an adult. If she wishes to apologize, it is her task.
Is that like a requirement? And she looks
No.
around the room, see what the people's faces tell her.
Claire's just shaking her head no and muttering, I do not require anything you do not
If you're
do.
trying to be a decent human being, then I suppose so.
Uh,
I mean,
Claire
it's not
Claire
something
raises.
that bad. I mean, people do it. I mean,
Okay, I will start first, even if you don't want to. I am sorry for snapping at you earlier and calling you an emotionless machine.
well, I guess I apologize for calling you a creeper, but you have to stop acting so creepy.
And that's why I'm here. She'll just say with a nod.
I'm
Clea,
trying, okay?
Clea,
Yeah,
another memory takes hold.
I didn't hear what you said.
Another
memory takes hold.
Oh shit.
You see a woman similar to your age, and you seem to be at a schoolyard, maybe high school or yeah, looks like high school. You're out on the gym blacktop, and you're both just sitting, talking, sharing a sandwich, sharing lunch. And your phone rings, and the memory ends.
Oh, okay. Does anyone notice that I'm getting some flashbacks or something?
You might have a little bit of a twitch here or there, but it literally happened within seconds.
Yeah, my eyes twitching. Like, oh shit. Okay.
Probably the only one who would catch it is Armand, because celerity also affects the mental perception.
So, what is the issue you're dealing with in town right now, if I may ask?
I, amongst my kind, am what is called a red Alistor.
She'll nod. Okay. I've never heard those two words together in the same combination, but I.
We hunt down the most wanted of our kind.
So you're like a police officer.
In a way, yes.
Okay, I can see where this is going. There's someone dangerous on the loose you're after.
Very dangerous.
Jess is going to whisper to Clea, do you think this has something to do with the house?
I don't know. Maybe we should
Why
ask.
don't why don't
Hey,
you
does this have anything to do with the house?
Out of character, that's completely up to Shayna whether she wants Marcus to even know about the house. In
Yeah, out
character,
of character, no.
in character, no idea.
Yeah, I'm asking our man if that's.
I, I mean, I suppose he has a house, but I'm not sure what you're referring to.
Oh, there's this creepy house that's there's a like another portal or something in there. Not a portal, a thing happening, and the Tremere went in there and then went to the park, and then the grumpy dude earth fucked him and he became Ash. That house.
Well, that sounds like Brennan.
Jess kind of pipes up and she says, I believe she is relating also to the murders that's been happening.
Yes, yes,
No,
that house.
no.
Oh, okay, okay, then.
Entirely different matter.
Okay, okay,
I see.
okay, Jesse. And she's,
I do,
she was
I do hope I do hope you find this one. Just let us know if we can give a little bit of aid. From the sounds of it, this one is not one that we want wandering around either.
Actually, I've known mages in my time. There's
How
something that you can do to shut off the ability to teleport.
indeed we can. The knowledge of the sphere of correspondence.
Yes. My quarry has this ability to teleport, and it is getting very inconvenient.
I was wondering why Zach was saying something about putting up some wards. This is what he was talking about. Yeah, we can fix that. Most likely, anyway. What it is somewhat difficult to plan, but there are several things we could do. We could give you an item, or we could ward an area. At least if we're not there. If we're there when this happens, we can prevent him from teleporting.
From what I'm told, he is targeting a particular kindred young woman.
Hmm. I'm not much on violence, but I have some tricks up my sleeve if she needs some defenses.
Clea is just looking at the floor, the sound of. I'm not big on violence because she doesn't want to talk about this particular subject.
I mean, the only violent act I ever committed, Armand just got rid of the evidence of. So yeah,
There sure are a lot of terrible stuff happening in Orlando.
There is indeed.
It's a focal point for a lot of the dark things in this world.
Is it
Certain focus points of the United States and other places become cesspools for horrors.
is it because of the park?
I think it's because of the previous Avatar storm that happened.
Oh, that. But that was last year.
Cleo,
One thing you're go- One thing you're going to learn, Clea, is that time is an illusion, as is distance and all the spheres of knowledge you will know.
Okay, you're trying to hurt my brain. Let's not have that.
Let's just watch Back to the Future later.
Chris gets up and looks over at Mon, and he says, if it's requested of the mages, we would have to make some kind of deal. However, as she said, we could be there, we could give an item, or we could ward an area. Depending upon what is asked of us, we can aid in this matter. However, due to the laws of our society and yours, it would not be for free. But I'm sure an arrangement could be come to, because this one should definitely be stopped. And personally, would be more than happy to help. But we would need to be told when and where.
I do believe they intend to trap him tonight. That's why I was here, to pray. That was interrupted rather quickly.
Indeed, and do let Miss Alexandra know that I am very sorry for the trouble, but I was
she
only trying to help.
she kind of looks at Taryn and raises an eyebrow.
Yeah, Clea is
Yeah,
also.
so you're the one she made a deal with.
Hmm, the one and only.
Do you think that Tremere would be okay with us helping? I mean, us as in the general mage.
Well, they
Mm,
probably wouldn't like you.
That
Mm,
wasn't.
Yeah,
to be fair, you probably shouldn't like them.
That wasn't very
yeah.
nice.
I'm guessing like us, the kindred have different groups.
Yes,
Look,
yes. Uh, we call them clans.
Yeah, the Tremere is the one that got earth fucked and ashed. The others were not. Tremere? Yeah? Right?
No, Brannon is what we call a bruja. They're known for their temper.
I
I'll
was just about.
say.
Sounds aggressive.
Well, he was a
I'm
puppy.
what is referred to as a toreador,
That sounds like a pretty name.
also
Are gu-
sometimes called the Clan of Roses.
are you guys like gardeners or something?
I think it lies more towards how pretty our priest friend is.
Oh,
I think Cecilia and
We
I.
tend to be artists and musicians.
Okay, and
Okay.
how about the bike dude?
Don't know if I know him. Wait. Dark hair, somewhat tan skin. Yes?
Yeah, and he has a nice ass.
I mean, I'm not one to judge, but I think you may be talking of Arjun.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, 21, Arjun. Yes, yes.
what a way to remember a
He
person by
is
their ass.
Ravnos,
All I know
Clan
is
of
that
Illusions.
he was throwing playing cards and weird things happened.
Nah, it was simply an illusion. At least on the end of the pain.
I mean, that dude really seemed to be taking damage there. was before he was, you know, earth boinked.
Zyra finishes putting away the
He's just
incense.
shaking his head.
Claire's like fingers to right between her eyes on the bridge of her nose,
Hey, I didn't
rubbing.
say earth fucked, I said earth boinked because you don't like the word, obviously, so I'm trying here,
She's
okay?
she is you have to admit, Claire, she is making some progress.
Oh, I'll give her a benefit for that. It's very fast progress too. We may
That's
totally.
progress.
Yeah, that isn't helping, guys. I just don't like having all that much attention turned towards me, and you're. No.
So
And yet you make yourself stand out.
I don't think that's on purpose, honestly. I'm sorry.
You cover yourself in tattoos, pierce your skin, dye your hair. These are all things that draw attention.
Yeah, but no. Out of characters, he does have the cloaking thing, so it kind of blends in, even being a freak. Kind of blends in.
So you realize that his level of aspects, you can see through it.
Well, yeah, but generally speaking, for normal people, he just blends in.
so Clea, how about you let him ask some questions since he's answered some of ours?
Fair deal.
I hate when you say things like that.
Taryn chuckles a bit,
He's a card dealer. That's what he does.
pulls out a deck of cards, and he starts shuffling it.
I
He
don't
very
gamble. Is all she
he's,
said, raising a
he
hand.
he starts shuffling it like one-handed with like the most impressive sleight of hand any of you have ever seen.
Wow, they're like better than Matthias.
Who do you think taught Matthias?
Ew.
You're probably the one who encouraged him to traumatize the poor lady of the lake, also.
Oh no, that wasn't me. That was what was his name? That was
That was
Zublok.
funny.
That was Zublok that made him do that. And to be fair, I mean, she was kind of being very stuck up at the moment. You know,
Yeah, but it was
she was she,
hilarious.
she was also causing a lot of people more pain by giving out deliberate lies, which is odd because the Fae don't usually lie like that.
You win this round. Is all she says to Sharon.
Taryn's like, Taryn Delmont 1, Claire Redwood 0.
I will give
But
you
he
some
looks at
more of
Claire.
that.
He looks at Claire and he gives a little wink and he's like, yeah.
That pisses off Clea a little bit.
She seems not to even really pay attention to the fact he winked. She goes immediately back to talking to the priest, asking if there's any questions they can answer for him.
There are people around and willing.
He would simply shake his head.
Hmm.
I've been around longer than most.
You see Zyra kind of pipe up and she says, come back anytime.
He nods and he's going to actually go over and finish his prayer.
Of course. And Claire's gonna like mutter a quiet apology again. And then go over to Clea and whisper, no, not all of us die. But for me, I had to cut my arms open to ascend. It quieted everything for a while.
Okay, that doesn't help the vibe. Like, I,
It's at this point I'm just going to I'm always going to creep you out.
for
And I think you mean awaken, not ascend.
Yeah,
Number four.
I did. Had a brain.
I see. This is what you were saying about the removing of things. That's why is this any less bad? That's
Bad, good, evil, darkness, light. These are words. Only words.
And he is
Their truth,
praying in Latin.
their truth is always muttered.
Oh, joy, that means I understand every word. God darn it.
Yep. Zyra will also go and start to kneel near him, and in perfect synchronization, in Latin, start the prayer and keep going with him.
okay. This is creeping me out. I think I'll go.
No worries, Clea. Here, why don't I buy you a drink? Huh?
The good rum that you have.
Oh, of course. I'll show you this nice little place.
Okay.
Yeah, there's this really good place I know. It's called White Wolf. It has some of the best booze you'll ever have.
Oh, God.
Yeah, my bike.
Sure, I can ride on the back. I have no problem with it.
She kind of whispers to Jesse, should we follow them this time?
Sure, but they probably already know what we're going to do because we're whispering.
Yeah,
Chris,
Clea will kind of
Chris,
glare Jesse, like,
Chris,
and
Chris
skip
walks,
ahead.
Chris walks, Chris walks by you, Clea, and he says, "I won't be far." And you see him turn the corner, and you don't see anyone come out. But if you look around the corner, you see he's not there.
This I will never get used to this. Okay, let's go. Uh, you have the address to that place?
Oh, of course I got it.
Okay.
And you two, I assume you two will drive off.
Yeah, I will get on the bike and yeah.
As, yeah, I assume they're going on their date. Jesse's still talking to Claire. Claire puts her flannel jacket into the donation box at this point because the scars are gone. She doesn't really need to cover anything.
And it's summer.
Yeah, that's a nice relief. And she takes a deep breath and she goes, well, I was going to check out this nightclub. One of the voices told me to check out Club Insomnia, but they've been closed. You know anywhere else we can go hang out, Jesse?
We can go back to that place where you gave me a dancer.
Boner.
Back to Club Bones. Yeah,
Ah,
always good.
I'm not buying you alcohol there.
Why not? Magical.
Mm, because you. I feel like everyone thinks I'm a bad influence on you now, young one.
No, that would be Clea. She's the bad influence.
Jess kind of comes in between both of you, puts an arm around Jesse, puts an arm around Claire, and she says, I don't know about you, but I think Ray over there and me could use some drinks. So why don't you two come out with us and we all go to Club Bones? What do you say?
Mm,
Sure.
why not?
Some
Excellent.
bowling's gonna happen.
And
The only other thing though I'm gonna make note as we leave, and I'm sure we're wrapping this up, is she did leave the page of automatic writing from Saint Matthew on the pew for Armand.
mhm. All right.
Yeah, I wanted a short combo though. Very short.
Of
Yep.
course.
So as everyone's leaving, before we end the session, we'll go ahead and pan to Taryn and Clea arriving at White Wolf. And before they go in, go ahead, Clea.
What do you mean before we go in?
You said you wanted a convo.
Yeah, when they said, not while the, before they go in, because that would be weird, right? Yeah.
Sure. Go ahead.
So yeah, she looks kind of tense though, because a lot of things to digest for one evening. But she will take a drink of the rum and she'll be like, "Oh yeah, that's that's good. Okay, I guess I can somewhat trust you then."
Yeah, I guess you can.
But
Sort of.
you're
Maybe.
not really. Well, look, I have trouble trusting people, so you're not really human,
Well,
and
no.
you're not a demon, but there's something behind you.
Oh yeah, that that form, that part of me. Yes.
Does it mean that you're evil?
Did you not hear Zyra's good words? Good and evil are just words.
Yeah, I just don't know, and I don't know. Things confuse me. Okay, I'm not very clear of mind. Although I guess I'm getting some idea today, yesterday, yeah, and today. I saw something yesterday, but I haven't really. Mm,
Guys, I really gotta go in like the next couple of minutes.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
wait.
As the convo kind of comes to a close,
Well, I'm not kind of done. You can't leave. Nothing
Taryn
happened.
looks at Clea. Go ahead, Clea.
So I saw something, and well, my brain told me to be more uh, open with people, and
Mm-hmm.
but if I have to ask you something, like, why are we here? Cause I'm,
If I could answer that question, do you think I would be a dealer at a casino?
yeah, but no, I have like, okay, I have to ask you something because I have bad experiences. Let's say, okay, I'll try to be as clear and blunt as possible because it seems that you're being a bit flirty. And well, usually what I see is that like a third of the people that I see are like repulsed by the makeover here. Like the other third are like intimidated by it. There's another third that like see it like a fetish, which leaves like a very small percentage of people who are actually interested. And well, is this some kind of fetish for you?
Not at all.
Okay, now that we got that cleared out, I guess yeah, we can enjoy the rum.
Yeah, demons, mages, vampires, they're all well and good. Werewolves are spooky. Gotta watch out for them.
Well,
And Taryn just kind of looks over Clea's shoulder, gives a little wink at the
werewolves?
barkeep, and then at Alexei.
Haven't met
He just gives a
those.
glare.
I don't think I've met any of those, have I?
Oh, you got to be careful around werewolves. I mean, you never know when, you know, one might creep up on you. They're really scary.
You're
You know,
standing in one's bar right now.
Oh, gee. That
Taryn
that
laughs.
that
You're an ass.
that that's not very cool. Okay, why?
Oh, don't worry, Clea. Alexei is a cool cat. Is a cool Garu. He
I
looks over at Alexei, gives a thumbs up, and he's like, "This man knows what he's doing."
he's not gonna eat me, right?
Taryn looks
You
over at
don't
Alexei.
eat people.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know. Okay. I'm sorry.
As Taryn reaches across the table and puts his hand on yours, you feel calmness kind of ensue you. Like you want to be calm, you want to be happy, and you relax a bit. And he says, "It's all right. It's really the best thing to do is to just go with the flow of things. And we will have that where the session will fade to black."
outro, damn it.
Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. I accidentally muted myself. Shut up.